Well, hi there. Welcome to A Kid Again. My name is Jon Petz, and I am a magician, and I welcome you to this special adventure in a box, and I welcome you as well as your whole family. And we're so thankful that you can be here with us today and have a little bit of fun for this and other future adventures and adventures in a box. Now, I hope you're ready to have a little magical fun today. You ready? Raise your hand. I hope so. I see some of you. Is it okay if I show you a trick first, and then we'll start into teaching you the magic? Are you ready? All right, watch close right down here and count these bills for me. The camera's gonna go nice and close so you can see it. Perfect, just like that. Count, how many do we have? We should have the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, and the $5 bills. They are ones on the front, they are ones on the back. However, here's my favorite part. If you watch close, front as well as the back, sometimes you can actually see them magically change. Or do they? Maybe that's not just the 100, that is the 100, the 200, the 3, the 4, and the 5 $100 bills. That's fronts, that's back, and that is a little bit of magic. Who's ready to learn some on your own? Say yes! Are there any questions at this point, or are we okay with it? I hope there are questions because you are going to be the magician. Now, if I do a magic show and if we do tricks with cards, I'm going to need someone to help me out. Therefore, I am so thankful that I have the Assistant Programs Director for A Kid Again. I have Mandy here with me who's joining me on stage. I hope she's ready. Are you ready for her? Put your hands together for Mandy. Woo! Hi. It's Mandy. She's here. I get to be her sidekick. This is so fun. Now, Mandy, I have to tell you, though, if you're going to do magic, you need like a magic name. You have like a magic stage name you can go with?
Yeah. Miraculous Mandy.
Oh, I like that. Miraculous Mandy. Well, then, Miraculous Mandy, we're going to start with a deck of cards because you will have those with you. Are you ready? I will do the trick first. Actually, I'll do a couple tricks, and then we're going to come back and teach you how to do every single one. All right, Mandy, it starts off like a standard card trick, but I promise you, this is not your standard card trick. If you don't mind, grab one of the cards. Don't let me see it, but then you can show everybody on the camera. All right, I'll turn around so you can show the camera. Everyone make some noise if you have it. Perfect. We good?
Yep.
All right, coming back so we can lose it in the pack. I'll put half there. Just throw it right in there for me. Works like this, Mandy. Check them out. One move, and I can make one card do a little backflip. Ready? Just do a little whoosh. Put your little hand over it like that. You're good. And if you watch, now one card, Mandy, one card only is flipped upside down. Check it out. What do you think? Woohoo! What do you think?
That's not my card.
Wait, for real?
No.
You know what that means? It's an indicator card, at least. You know what it means? It means I messed up. Really? That's not? Well, it's got to tell us something. If it's a 5, let me see. If I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, what was your card, Mandy?
7 of diamonds.
The 7 of diamonds? The 7 of diamonds. Also, it's pretty cool. You're pretty good at this poker thing, I bet, too. You found the 4 aces right there in the middle of the pack. Give it up for Mandy, everybody. Yes, not bad. You're obviously a seasons pro, just absolute seasons pro. But let's try another one. In fact, this one, I bet you. I'm really confident. The first one, I was a little worried, maybe like you, that I messed it up. But this one, I'm really, really confident in. So grab a new card if you don't mind. Show it to them one more time. All right. And we'll tell you what, we'll do the exact same way. Just, I don't know, we'll put it somewhere in the middle there. Yep. Make sure it's nice and clean so I don't know where it is. And if you happen to see your card, don't react. I just want you to watch because I'm going to see if I can flip it over. And just by watching you, find the one card. Now, if I'm just going through them, yeah, one. Don't say anything. Don't react. Let's see. Oh, I told you I'm going to bet you. I'll tell you what. Mandy, I bet you a quarter. Maybe I bet you a whole $1. The next card I flip over is going to be your card. You going to take that bet?
Sure.
You are? What was your card?
That was my card.
The 3 of hearts, was that it? I thought I messed up again. Oh my gosh. Give it up for Mandy one more time. You're really, really getting good at this. Sometimes you got to be able to predict cards. Have you ever predicted cards?
Mm-mm.
let's see, if I try to do a little prediction, let me pull some out. I'll try pulling out, let's do, I'm going to go with that one. I'm going to try that one. It's kind of a jack right next to it. And let's try one more rando. Let's try that one. So maybe here's what I'll do. I'll leave those so you can see them. Would you just cut the deck for me? Cut half of it somewhere, yeah. Point to one. Which one? All right, you hold on to that. I'll hold on to that. If you don't mind, I want you to deal that 3 piles. Just deal 1, 2, and 3. Yep, so deal 1, 2, and 3. Now you're going to continue dealing 1, 2, 3 until the cards are all gone. So we've taken a random half of the pack, and I have no idea what cards we had at the bottom, but ahead of time we made a little prediction, didn't we, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? Hopefully we did. So let's see. I don't know. We'll maybe go with that there, and we'll see how we did. Now, it would be kind of cool. Let's see, is that a red queen? It would be kind of cool if we hadn't to match, wouldn't it? Like, look, there's the 5 and the 5. What if we had the jack and the jack, and extra cool if somehow the 3 cards I predicted were the exact 3 cards that you ended up on. Ooh, that's where Mandy goes, ooh.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Okay, do we have time for one more?
Yes.
One more. All right, we do one more here for you. And then you get to shuffle your cards and you get to be the magicians. I want everyone to notice behind me on the bar, you can even turn our shoulders, there's an envelope. And it has a little X on it, doesn't it, Mandy? Mm-hmm. Now, I haven't touched it. It's been there the whole time, right?
Yep.
Okay. We'll make this one pretty clean and so just cut the cards for me one time. And I like to call it the X marks the cut. That's right where you stopped us. Now, there's 52 cards in the deck. So what you're about to see isn't impossible, but I will tell you it's highly improbable. And we haven't set any of this up, have we?
No.
Not at all. So she cut one place into the packet. I'm going to show you the card, and you can actually pull it out, the card that you picked to. Show the camera. We ended up on looks like the Jack of Spades. Now, before we began, I took a separate pack of cards, and I just had a funny feeling about one card. And I put it in an envelope. You see that X kind of marked, the treasure where you marked it. Well, I marked an envelope. I'll hand it to you. Would you mind opening the envelope for everybody?
Sure.
So they can see it. There's nothing in your hands. There should only be one thing in that envelope. Miraculous, Mandy. And with flair, with grace, with magic ability, show the one card we put in the envelope ahead of time is the Jack of Spades. X marks the cut. That was our buried treasure.
That's pretty cool.
Wow. All right. I hope you enjoyed our little show. We're going to take a break. We're going to get ourselves set up, and we're going to teach you each and every one of these. So get ready, pull out the A Kid Again cards, and get everyone ready for a little bit of fun. Okay, here we are. All right, I have a couple of rules we got to talk about if we're going to do magic together. One, someone brought up, but you're not supposed to share a magical secret. Well, I'm going to share some with you, and here's how I find when people ask me about teaching magic or learning magic, because it has to be passed down, and all the tricks that I've learned have been passed down from generations before me. That's how I learn the tricks. What'll happen for you, you'll have friends say, how'd you do it? And they're going to want to know for 2 reasons. One, because they've been fooled and they want to know the answer. And that's not a person you should ever show a trick to. Or there could be a person that says, oh my gosh, that is really nice. I would love to learn a card trick. And that person I would maybe teach something to in a different way. But it's people that we want to kind of encourage this art of magic. So when people ask that, be careful how you answer. The other rule I want to address is they'll always say, do it again. I never said at the very beginning, right? They'll ask, how'd you do it? And they'll want you to do it again. But you don't do the same trick twice. And there's a very important reason. Because you watch it second time different. You watch it differently, I should say. Because you know what's going to happen. The first ones, it was a surprise. When I had the X on the envelope, she was like, what happened? But now she's going to be watching the whole, she knows it's coming. So always do a trick one time. And when they say, do it again, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's great. I will. And start into a different trick and just do something totally different. Deal? And of course, the third thing is practice a little bit. Yes, mom and dad, brothers, so they're going to pick a card 74 times and they're going to love it. They really are. Practice a few times in the mirror or even on yourself. You really can. First trick, it was called the indicator card. I'm going to show you one thing on the cards that I have in front of me. They are the exact same cards that you have. And what I'm going to do is take the 4 aces and pull those out. This is kind of an added bonus to the indicator card trick. You don't have to do the 4 ace. I just thought it was kind of a neat finish. And I want you to take a 5, a number 5. It doesn't matter any. I'll take the 5 of spade. Oop, I'll put it in there for the camera for you. 5 of spade. And here's what we're going to do. The cards can be shuffled in absolutely any order. And the 5 of spade is going to go on the bottom, but it's going to go opposite. Okay? So the 5 of spade is going to be opposite on the bottom. And then the 4 aces go underneath it, but they go the normal way. So if you were to spread the cards, you don't want someone to see this part, the 5 and then the 4 aces underneath it. I was careful when I asked Mandy to pick a card. I spread the cards and I said, take any card, but I don't want her to take any on bottom, so I just keep my thumb there. I spread them like this and I kind of pinch. So she can't get down there. She can take any one of these cards. And Mandy, since you're still there, could you just grab a card and flip it over for us if you don't mind?
Anyone?
Yep, just grab any one. Flip it right there on the table. So we're going to work with the 8 of diamonds. And there's one move and one move only that I'll have to do. And you're going to see me use this twice as we teach. She's going to put it back in the pack, but here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to take off the top, put it on the table, and ask her to put her card right there. And as of now, the trick's done. It is completely done. I did a little set magic about, hey, wave your arms around. You could come up with your own magic word. But when I spread the cards, there's, of course, going to be that one card that's face up, which is the... Where is it? Oh, it's right down there. Really did mess up. No. The 5 of spades. Now, this is where you got to do a little acting. I'm going to try to move them so you can see them a little bit better. And you're going to be like, oh, that's because, trust me, they're going to say, wait, that's not my card. That's not my. And I even set it up a little bit like, listen, I'm going to do something so cool. I'm going to make one card turn face up. I always, and I kind of did a few like, look how cool I'm going to be. I'm going to make a card turn face up. And trust me, when it's not their card, they're going to let you know it. That's not it. And you can be, I must, but it's an indicator card. It means it indicates that I screwed up. But maybe not. Maybe it tells us something else. And the trick's done for you. It's a 5. And just say, oh, wait, what if I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Mandy, what was your card again? And it was the 9 of diamonds, I think. Was that it? Who remembers?
8 or 9?
8. And then turn it over, because that indeed, the 8 of diamonds. And then if you want to do that big finish, you still have these 4 cards in your hand and be like, wow, I bet you're pretty good at poker too. You just got yourself a 4 of a kind, if anyone plays that kind of game. That's called indicator card. And it's a great first one because there's a little bit of what they call a deck stack. I had to take the deck of cards and I had to put the 4 aces on the bottom and the 5 upside down. So your quick refresh, there's your 5 upside down. One person picks a card, puts it anywhere, looks at it, boom, boom, boom. I cut off half, put that half down, the card goes on top, trick's done. Boop. There's your 5, count down 5, and that's their card. All right, moving on to I Betcha. I Betcha is also kind of like a sucker trick where they think they have you beat, and it's kind of like a double whammy. You're like, oh no, I got this.
I thought I
did. You beat you?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you. Did we say a quarter or $1 to she owe me? Do you remember, Jared?
I think it's $1.
I think it is $1.
I think it was a quarter.
Oh, I think we started there, but I think you upped the bet. So if you finish the indicator card first and you're putting your cards together, here's all you do. You're going to kind of put the cards, and as you're putting them together, and I always do this towards me, I look at the bottom card. It's which was a Jack of Diamonds right now. And it uses a very similar move to what we did with the cut, put a card on, and put yours on top. Here's why the Jack of Diamonds is important. it tells me what her card is. And here's what I mean. You picked a card. You showed the camera. You put it on the table so we can all see. Now the bottom card is what? Who remembers the bottom card?
Jack.
It's the Jack of Diamonds. And here's what I do. I want you to take your 6 of clubs, and once again, and I cut a little bit deeper so I don't have to go through so many cards, but I cut the cards. You put it on so we can't find it. Words, which in magic are called patter, is really important because sometimes it may not be exactly truthful. You put it there so we can't find it. Listen, I know where it is, but I want her to have more of a belief and disbelief in what's going to happen. And then I put it on top. Where's the Jack of Diamonds? The Jack is going on top of her card. Now here's where it's fun to have them try to keep still and not blink or don't say anything. I will say, now if you see your card, don't say anything. I'm going to start running through the cards, and I'm going to see if I can figure out just by your body actions what it is. And sometimes they'll start moving, they'll try to fool you. And do you know all I'm looking for? What card do you think I'm looking for?
The Jack.
The Jack of Diamonds. And here's why. Once the Jack of Diamonds comes up, not the Jack of Clubs, actually we'll bring it a little bit closer again. We got a great cameraman, Jared, who's also with the kid again. We're so appreciative of him. I just run through, and here's where I think it's fun. Purposefully, I'm kind of making a messy pile because I want them to see a bunch of cards. Ooh, it was the Jack of Diamonds. There's my Jack of Diamonds. Now, this is your card, but I'm not going to do anything yet. I'm going to drop it and maybe drop one more, sometimes one more, and then I'm going to stop and be like, oh, you know what? Now, everyone should know. Everyone knows what your card is. What card is hers for real? The one after the Jack of Diamonds. But this is where you get them, all right? This is where you get their quarter, their nickel, their penny. I'll bet you the next card I flip over is going to be your card. And watch their face. It's so good. They're like, oh, because you're holding this card. They think you're going to flip this one. You flip it.
That's my card.
That's right. And I'm like, next card, I'll bet you a quarter. I'll take the bet. And you're like, okay. And just watch them go, oh, no, you beat me. You got me again.
That's a good one.
We fooled you on that one, didn't we?
That's a lot easier than I thought it would be.
They're simple to do, but they're effective. That was really important to me when I looked through some good tricks we could do. I wanted something that everyone could learn, but effective. We're going to do these tricks in this order. Very similar situation what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick these cards up, and I'm going to look at a couple things. This was the prediction trick. And I'm going to look at the whole deck of cards, and I'm going to take 3 cards out. The cards I'm going to take out, on the bottom I have 3 cards, and for me, it's the 10, the 9, and the 8. It's a red 10, it's a black 9, and a black 8. And I'm going to look for the matches to those, meaning as I run through, I'm going to find the other black 9, the black 8, and a red 10. There's the black 9. Now, I don't tell them. I'm just like, I'm going to make a prediction. They don't need to know what you're doing. The less talk, the better. So I'm going to predict that one. I'm going to try that one. That's looks like an 8 of club. And let's try... let's try that one, the 10 of heart. Now, the order on the bottom, and sometimes it is the 10, 8, and 9. So I just kind of remember that. So I put those aside. And then I have my assistant. I'll just say, could you cut the cards for me? Now there's one move in this. There's a little bit of brain work, and then there's one move. I'm going to ask her to point to one pile, but here's the deal. I have to use this pile. Thankfully, in our show, she pointed to that pile. But what happens if she points to this pile? I'll show you. I need you to point to one pile.
This one.
Oh, perfect. I'm going to keep that one, and you keep this one. She didn't know, right? She had no idea. That's called a magician's force. No matter what she picks, I'm going to control what happens.
What would you have done if I choose that one?
And if you chose that one, go ahead and pick one of them.
This one.
Okay, perfect. You keep that. We'll get rid of this. Okay. And now this is kind of a dealing trick because it's a mathematical. I want you to deal 3 piles of cards. So deal 1, 2, and 3 down. And then, Mandy, I want you to continue all the way through the deck. Now, as she continues to do this, I would talk a little bit and say, we're going to get a completely random sampling of cards. You picked half of the deck, which I made her pick. And the only thing I'm looking for is the last card that goes down. So boom, actually it worked out. Sometimes it'll end up in the middle, but I'm remembering back of trying to think which was which. So the last one should have been the 10. That was the bottom card. Then there was the 8 and the 9. So sometimes you have to go here, here, and here, but you're just trying to remember. So if I said, oh, I'm going to predict, and it's okay if you miss, because the one, we didn't exactly hit. I kind of throw them down loose. Yeah, the 10, the 8, those were my predictions. You know what would be cool? It'd be really cool if they matched. You know what would be cooler than cool? If 2 of them matched. You did all the work. You know what would be cooler than coolest? Cool?
If this one matched.
Turn it over and check it out. It's a perfect prediction. That's where you take your applause, you take your bow, you applaud, make it about them. It's not about you. Like, oh my gosh, you were amazing. How did you do that? Yeah. And it also takes the pressure off of them saying, no, how did you do that? I'm like, no, it was you. I didn't do it. You dealt it. I had nothing to do with it. And it sets us up to the final one that we did. I'm going to show you a little setup. Before the show started, I took a card, which I have still right here. It was the Jack of Spades is what was in the envelope. So it is from a different pack of cards, and I do it that way to show that, hey, I took another pack and I made a prediction ahead of time. So whatever that card is, you just need to make sure you remember it. Very important. Jack of Spades.
The hard part.
Hard part, right, Miraculous Mandy? So I put the Jack of Spades in, seal it up, and I put an X on it. Now, I put it somewhere, but I never really call attention to it until the end. So it was here the whole time, right? So no one, during the show, you didn't see me go and touch it, and I'll tell you why that becomes important. So if you're doing these in order, I kind of go through the cards, and I'm picking them up, and sometimes it's even good if they're like this and they're on the table. And what I'm doing right now, I need to find the Jack of Spades. And even as we were talking, I was kind of running through them, and here it's right there. If you have them like this, you can sometimes even take the Jack of Spades and, kind of. Or, once you get the cards together, if it's in the middle, I'll do it this way. You're kind of shuffling up the cards, and, you're trying to find them, and people know you're getting everything together, and I'm just kind of looking for that Jack, and once I find it, I'm going to put it on bottom. Now, there's a principle in this magic trick, and it's called time misdirection. What that means is, after she picks her card, there's a little bit of time that I want to pass. So she kind of forgets what happened in a way. Because if someone is really watching close, they'll pick up on how this functions. So the Jack is on bottom, but nobody knows. So you've kind of picked up the cards, you clean them up, you got the Jack on bottom. I've got some buried treasure, Mandy. I'll tell you what we're going to do. I believe X marks the spot. Could you just cut the cards one time for me? And I'll do this a little bit differently than I did it in the show, just slightly. She cut them, and now I take the bottom half, and I say, well, the X marks the spot. And this is where I want to talk for a little bit. Because, before the show started, I put an X behind me. It's in the envelope. And the reason I want to take a little bit of time is the card that I'm going to look at is the bottom card, but they may not remember how it all plays up. Because in reality, the card you picked is the King of Hearts. But when you cut them, we cut once, and we cut there. So the card that I should be looking at would be this one. Oops, sorry. But in reality, I'm just going to look at the bottom card. So when you make your X, and then the words I say, I'm going to get the card where you cut, right, Mandy? Mm-hmm. Again, your words, where you cut, which is not true, but, and you can pull it, hand it to her, hand it to that person you're working with. You can show them, you can show me, what was the one card you cut to?
Jack of Spades.
The Jack of Spades. Amazing. So it's called a card force. I forced her, no matter what she was going to do, no matter where she cut in the entire deck, it was going to be the Jack of Spades by using that X cut. And then it's all showmanship and acting. I'm like, it's amazing because I've got a treasure chest behind me. X marks the spot. And before the show started, I put one card in that treasure box. You can even have them get it. I mean, your trick's not, grab the envelope. And of course, you know what's going to happen when she opens up the envelope. And I would even have them take their time. If there's other people watching, be like, nice and slow. Make sure there's nothing in your hands. There's nothing else in the envelope. Show it front and back. And of course, in the one sealed envelope with the X is the Jack of Spades. That's the card I knew you were going to pick.
Pretty good.
And that's called X marks the spot. And it is a card force with a little bit of time misdirection. Now, you may have some questions, I know. I may have misexplained something. I may have gone too fast. First, go back on YouTube and watch, or if you need some help, put a comment in YouTube if that's open, and we can do that. And we'll try to help people as best that we can. But most importantly, I want you to have fun with this. I want you to enjoy this. If this is your first adventure in a box, show some magic to other people. Create joy, create smiles, and do what becomes magical to you, which is being yourself.